So, because Nigel Farage was on I'm a Celebrity, I had to watch I'm a Celebrity, which I haven't done, actually,
What?
ever before.
Oh, I thought you were just going to do a segment where you didn't watch
No, ever before. And so I literally just felt like a total normie. Just like they're all like the guy who won is a huge fan of I'm a Celebrity. And he's like, Anna Deck, I love you. And I'm like, okay. Yeah.
They're awarding the prizes to their own.
Yeah.
It's nepotism.
It's not even nepotism. He's just completely grown up inside the Matrix and views I'm a Celebrity as like the apex of human achievement. Right. That's the thing. And so he's I mean, he seems like a really nice guy, but like sheltered is a very kind way of describing him. He's kind of like a human version of a golden retriever or a Labrador, right? He's just like I'm not joking. His name's Sam.
So the last segment we did on this was you trying to cope with the trauma from interacting with normie world. Is this just part 2?
No, this is just me trying to give an accurate description of what this guy's like, right? He's literally like a human Labrador. He's just bouncing around, happy at everything, wagging his tail. He's thrilled about absolutely everything. At the end of it, after he's eaten God knows how many, pigs' anuses and whatnot, he's like, this has been the best time of my life. It's like, okay.
But was it some kind of boomer? Thank God I got away from the misses for 2 weeks.
No. Imagine what a Labrador's opinion of literally anything that you do. And he's literally like that. He's jumping up and down. He's just bouncing. He's hugging everything. He's just like, brilliant. I just love to be involved and be part of it. It's literally his whole shtick, right?
I can see why he won.
Yeah, but he's not like a bad guy or anything. He's just there's a kind of innocence to him that is kind of endearing. And I can see why people like him. But man, it was just tiring.
This is what happens if you take the blue pill. Hey folks, did you know that YouTube has now demonetized our content, making our sponsors and partners more crucial for our survival than ever? That's why we're thrilled to introduce you to Flex Again. In today's world where the grip of pain is all too common, we face a growing issue. Millions of individuals battle the persistent torment of joint pain every single day. Inflammatory compounds are everywhere, infiltrating the air we breathe and the food on our plates. Mainstream media trivializes these issues, distracting us from what truly matters. But there is hope. With Flex Again, you'll be offered a way out of pain. Flex Again is an innovative joint supplement carefully designed to address the root causes of joint discomfort. Flex Again contains a potent blend of 11 scientifically recognized vitamins, minerals, and natural compounds, all designed to provide you with the ultimate joint relief. A true blessing for those who've experienced the trials of life. To continue supporting us here at Lotus Eaters and bid goodbye to joint pain forever, please choose Flex Again. You can start your Flex Again journey today by clicking the link in the description or using the promo code LOTUS when ordering Flex Again. By supporting Flex Again, you not only help us at the Lotus Eaters, but also secure an exclusive 20% discount on your Flex Again purchase. Embark on the path to a pain-free, flexible future with Flex Again today.
Yeah, I did not understand anything about Normie World because I come from our world, which is totally weird and different. If you want to support our world, go over to our merch store, check out our merch. It's not going to be there that much longer because we're going to have a new line soon-ish. God only knows when I'm going to get that done, but soonish. So go and check it out and help support us, because otherwise we have to move into Normie World. And I don't want to do that because I spent long enough in Normie World and man, it was just too much, right? It was too much. It was 23 days they spent in the jungle and I had to watch it for about 12 days or something like that. And it was I just couldn't take it.
I've spent far too much time online because this image is very clearly just very happy. This is a genuine moment of being thrilled for him. Oh, I'm so happy. I can't believe it. All I see is the soy jack.
Yeah, but he won't know what a soy jack is.
Exactly.
He has no idea what the hell you're talking about. And he's just like, no, I met Ant and Dec and it was brilliant. I ate a pig's vagina and it was brilliant.
I don't envy this.
No, I know. But the thing is, there's something kind of precious about it because he's the sort of guy who just seems to have never had a bad thought about anyone ever, right? He's from a program called Made in Chelsea. Never heard of it. His name's Sam Thompson. Never heard of him. And he was the winner of this. He also defeated a bunch of celebrities. To be honest with you, I mean, maybe they are celebrities, but I hadn't heard of almost any of them. Like, there was a jockey that I'd heard of, but there was some.
Why jockey?
Well, because he was like a boomer jockey. Like, so you would have like no.
I don't know any jockeys.
Well, no, I don't either. I can't remember his name offhand, actually.
Was he amusingly small?
Yeah, of course he was. He was a
Okay.
jockey. Like, he was like this Italian jockey who'd moved to Britain in like the 60s or something. But the thing is, back in the day when you didn't have internet, you had to watch whatever was on TV. And on a sort of Saturday afternoon, your dad has on like the sports results, and so they're reading out the names of these things. You hear them by cultural transfusion, whether I'm interested or not. I have no idea, no interest in horse racing or anything. But anyway, there were loads of these people on that, and I'd never heard of any of them really, apart from one guy and Farage. And so Farage did pretty well to come to the final, right? He did do quite well. One of the, but you know, the boxer was this Scouser who seemed like a nice enough guy actually. But he obviously wasn't enjoying the challenges nearly as much as Sam here was. I mean, Sam literally says, "I've had the best time and I'm the luckiest person in the world." Literally the Labrador's opinion, which is cute. But also, he did have to eat a camel's dick.
And it was the best time in the world.
I know.
My favorite thing
He
I've
nearly-
ever done.
He nearly choked to death eating a pig vagina.
I mean, I'd rather win the lottery.
Yeah, I know, right? But that's the thing. For him, this is the apex of human achievement. He's I'm a Celebrity is the best thing ever. All of my family watch it. Everyone I know watches it. This is, the thing. It's like, okay, well, you're on it, man. Have a good time. He's watched every series that's, this has been on for like a decade now. He's huge fans of Ant and Dec. So there's something kind of wholesome that like the British public, like, yeah, okay, we'll vote for it just to make his year. This is the best thing. Beep, vote for him. But anyway, Farage came third, which is really, really good out of like a dozen or so people in it, especially given how Farage is a divisive political figure, as we hear over and over and over. But the thing about Farage is that he just really just normalized himself and humanized himself. And this is why I think he's the real winner of this. He got paid 1.5 million to do it, which was the highest that anyone's been paid, apparently. So that's staggering. And 8.3 million people watched the show every night, and of course there were loads of news articles written about it. A lot of them trying to smear Farage, but it didn't really work. And so he's done really, really well there. He did come in the same position as Matt Hancock, third. It's like, really gross. Anyway, he comes out of the jungle, and you can see that he has noticeably lost weight. You can see how much thinner he is, and he is actually quite tanned and stuff like that. Apparently, it's quite a lot of physical work when he's in there, so that's interesting. And so I thought we'd get some of the reactions. How do you think Piers Morgan took it? Well, congrats to Nigel Farage on losing a public vote for the 7th time. Bro, he came third. That's pretty good. This time to an irritating reality TV half-wit. Yeah, I mean, he's talking about Sam, and that is kind of true, but he's not that irritating.
But also, Piers Morgan has no right to hold the intellectual or moral high ground over anybody in the world.
He doesn't hold the intellectual or moral high ground over anybody in the world.
But we're not even talking about that. We're talking about popularity.
Yeah.
If he's more popular, come on.
I mean, does Sam Thompson have a set that has his name plastered on every inch of it?
Well, there's no need to denigrate Sam. I mean, he's not a bad guy. Like, irritating reality TV half-wit. That's harsh. Piers. Like, he did just win I'm a Celebrity, thank you very much.
How's Piers Morgan going to get through the day if he doesn't affirm to himself that I'm the best person who's ever existed?
Yeah. Piers doesn't like popularity contests. But he ended up engulfed in snakes. An appropriate final humiliation for the biggest snake in Britain. It's like, Piers, calm down. I mean, or Farage is just sat in the box while they pour snakes on him. But the thing is, none of the snakes bite him, so he just lays there. And snakes aren't like the guy
it looks
before.
like he's taking a nap.
Yeah, exactly. The guy before had spiders on his face. Okay, exactly. Like, Farage must have been thrilled. So, oh, really? My final challenge is to lay there with a bunch of snakes on me. Thank God. Of all, like, unironically, the other guy had like mealworms and spiders on him. So, and literally, there's one crawling on his face, and I don't blame him for freaking out, to be honest, because I bloody would have done too. But the important part is that Farage was able to defend a bunch of political positions that I think are obviously valuable. Defended Brexit. Oh, well, wait, we get there. Yeah. This is a Daily Mail journalist, quote unquote, who's like, look, Farage is coming out of this on top because, of course, he's going to have made a bunch of new friends doing this and made himself very likable to many people, which is why he came third. I mean, you don't come third if everyone hates you.
Where did Nella come?
Last.
Oh, good.
because everyone hated her because she was insufferable, right? But the point is, like, Nigel Farage successfully defends Brexit, which is good. Nigel Farage successfully defends being against mass immigration. I mean, this was particularly good. It's like anti-immigrant. No, all I've said is we can't go on with the numbers coming to Britain that are coming. That's a totally true statement. Everyone at home is like, well, yeah, that's true. You know, what do you reckon, Ahmed? You know, like,
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
yeah, exactly, right.
They got to go, brother.
Yeah, it's what's that guy's name? Citizen Khan.
Yeah.
It's literally the Citizen Khan thing, right?
But every household that was watching this in the country would have had a debate that evening.
Yes.
And, well,
There are just too many of them.
there is an obviously true answer.
Yes.
Also, let's not also discount the amazing representation of those people coming over that Nella presented to them as well.
No, Nella was born here.
Oh, well, still, she positioned herself as the immigrant. I am an immigrant, Nigel.
Oh no, she wasn't born here. You're right. No, she came in when she was 7 from Nigeria.
Yeah, she shouted at him, and they're all going, "Oh, is that the kind of person?
Yeah, well,
Is it going to be? Are we going to get an army of Nellas coming over to this country?
yes, you are going to get an army of Nellas coming to this country.
Who are just going to like? If I say actually maybe the NHS isn't built to be able to service this many people, they're going to scream at your face incoherently.
Yes, they are, and then they're going to be like, "You hate me." It's like, no, I just would like to get some surgery at some point when I'm ill. But anyway, so then the political class started chattering, obviously, and even places like the Guardian were like, "Well, this probably was good for Farage, actually, which is not good for us." I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here has presented the former UKIP leader turned GB News host with a near perfect platform to return to frontline politics. Good. That's exactly what I would like to see. The once unthinkable scenario of Farage joining the Tories has also become the subject of increasing speculation since he was feted by Tory members at their conference last year. A poll of Tory members also found that more than 70% would have happily backed Farage in the party. Get in. The Guardian is scared. Good to know. The Tory media, by which I mean the centre-left media, such as The Telegraph, are also like, yeah, I mean, to be fair, be better than what's going on at the moment, wouldn't it?
This is a beg for for the Tories to be old yelled.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Take them out behind the shed.
Yeah, and just put them out of their misery. Because at least with Farage in charge, at least something would be happening that would be understandable, comprehensible.
There's 2 stories there, though, isn't there? There's the first story, which is, oh crap, he might save the Tories from the oblivion. And then there's all the Tories who are like, we deserve to be obliterated. Yeah, I agree with the second one.
But the thing as well is that the Tories seem to just want to be in power for the sake of saying they're in power. They want power for no reason.
Well, that's
the
why they
problem.
speak of, maybe if he becomes our leader, we'll be in power for no reason for another 5 years.
No, like there's
The inertia can continue.
yeah, no, but the Tories have a kind of fear that Nigel Farage might make them do something, right? And that seems to be the thing they're at. No,
They have a fear of being obliterated by another party.
you know what? I don't know if they are afraid of that. Like, it's weird.
If they lose one election to a right-wing party, if they become lower than that party, they are dead forever and they know it.
Oh yeah, but it's not that. Like they're not afraid of losing to Labour, for example, right? They're not
No.
afraid of that. For some reason, they seem to be pretty.
If Reform replace them, they are dead. No one will donate to them ever again. That's
Yes.
the real fear.
And so this is why they're obsessed with just staying in power.
And beyond even party politics, my main concern is this: for the country to even begin to heal, the streets of London need to be absolutely flooded with homeless ex-civil service staff.
I mean, I agree. I just don't think it's going to happen under Labour.
I don't think it's going to happen under either party, sadly.
No, of course not. Of course not. So, I mean, hopefully it just happens with Farage coming back and liquidating the lot. But in this, he's just complaining, well, look at the timing. Sunak's in power and everyone hates him. Farage has just made himself super popular and I'm a Celebrity. And there's a fantasy that once the Tories are out of office, he might become the leader. But I can't see the party machinery tolerating him becoming the MP. It's like, okay, but what if you just die as a party instead and he is the replacement?
That would be good.
That would be good, yeah. Yeah. And The Spectator, again, another sort of centre-left Tory trying to think of a nice way of describing Rag.
They're run by Fraser Nelson. The
Yeah, I know.
Spectator is not a magazine to be taken seriously for the most part. Every so often, by accident,
Yeah,
they'll publish a useful article, but
Yeah, but
lots of that happens even with the Guardian sometimes.
yeah, but it's more their intrinsic connections to the Conservative Party, because loads of Conservative MPs have been journalists or editors of the Spectator and the Telegraph. Like, there's a very incestuous relationship between these things. That's why these are relevant. But what happens next for Farage, given the current state of the Conservative Party, is entirely conceivable that Farage may end up its leader within a few years, whatever the consequences will be. I think they're afraid. I think they're genuinely afraid. Because, and I know you are right. Like, if they lose an election to a right wing party, they're over forever. Sure, but I don't think they actually think that's going to happen. What I think they're actually afraid of, and reading these articles, is that Farage might actually do something with the Conservative Party. Like, we can't do so. We've got this kind of fear of motion. Like, the Conservative Party just wants to sit still forever and achieve nothing.
There is a certain truth to that. Jonathan Bowden reporting when he was in the party, speaking to Michael Gove, saying, "Oh, it's terrible what immigration is doing to this country. We can't do anything, though."
Yeah.
Why can't we do anything, Michael? Well, it would be un-British of us to do anything.
Yeah. No, they're totally afraid of motion.
Okay.
Like, not moving is the ideal and default state of the Conservative. That's literally what they're for. And that's basically how the British public used them as well. Things got quite bad under Labour. I think we'll pause and have nothing happen for 13 years. Oh no, things are getting bad. We're going to have to, who do we go to next? But anyway, just a quick final roundup on this one. Sunak is
Disliked.
less popular than diphtheria.
More popular than bubonic plague.
No, not really. 18% popularity, disliked by 58%.
He is slightly more popular than David Cameron, though. Somehow.
Great point. That's a great point. He is slightly more popular than David
People just don't like David Cameron's face.
Yeah. And Nigel Farage is on 26% popularity and 49% disapproval. So he's a better start than Rishi Sunak.
So he's the 11th most popular Conservative politician.
And he's disliked by 58% of people.
Yes. That's correct.
Good job, Tories.
But okay, that's the general public, right? Who needs to know what they think? Let's go to the Conservative members. Oh, it turns out that's
even worse.
Yeah, even worse. Yeah. No, it's actually not quite as bad as with the general public, but it's still a minus 25% approval rating with the Conservative members.
And
Liz Truss is more popular, but then she always was.
Yeah, she was the one who was voted in by the membership.
Yeah,
whereas
by 2/3. Yeah.
Rishi wasn't, so that's no surprise.
Yeah, and so the chatter is, okay, but what about Boris? What about Boris? What about a Nigel Boris team up? Does Nigel need Boris?
No.
Like, why would Nigel need Boris?
Boris always has been and always will be a honeypot traitor.
Yeah, I think
like when he was mayor of London back in the day, even back then he was talking about amnesty for illegal immigrants. And when he got in, he immediately started talking about amnesty for all illegal immigrants. He's no savior.
No, he's not.
We're not talking about policy. We're talking about, does Gen Pop find him popular?
Yeah,
that time's gone. Maybe a year ago.
I don't know. I think.
Well, about a year ago, I was in Parliament with some MPs, and they were all talking about how, man, we've just shot ourselves in the foot by getting Rishi in charge. We need Boris back. And a friend of mine went to visit the same guy again recently, and it's gone. That atmosphere is gone. None of them believe bringing Boris back. Also, they're well aware that it's
Boris back better. Not going to happen.
I think Boris still is quite popular with the general public, though.
That's why it's our job to convince them that he will betray you over and over and over again. Right. Boris Johnson will spit on your hopes and dreams.
Oh, that's totally true.
But just, he's not needed. Your question was, does Farage need him? No.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? I don't see why Farage needs Boris, because Farage is clearly the only politician in Britain who has any kind of understanding of the idea and the willpower to do something about it. It's just the only thing. But the only person who's prepared, who actually comes from the outside, because this is it's going to clearly require an outsider to do something about all of this, and so it's not going to come from within the Conservative Party. So I don't think Farage needs Boris at all. But of course, who knows? And this is something that Farage has, again, would he form an alliance with Boris? Apparently, according to Mayar, never say never. I can't predict what will happen right now. If at some point there's a role for me to play, I would not rule it out. I think he's just keeping his powder dry, of course. But he did say that, I'm not planning to go straight back into politics or anything like that. Again, I think he's playing coy.
My Instagram DMs have blown up since I got back.
They probably have.
Yeah, so many DNets have been getting in touch with him.
It's,
Looking good, Nige.
well, he is looking better.
There's a phrase in Russian to describe the Chinese,
Oh yeah,
and the phrase is China's last warning, because the Soviets and the modern day Russians have had the same interactions with China that we have, which is every 2 weeks China issues a new final warning, and then we will go to war, or something major will happen. They never do.
Yeah.
And Nigel Farage has this version of this where he's like, I have no plans to get back into politics.
Yeah.
Next week, I'm getting back into politics. I'm not retired anymore.
Yeah. So it looks entirely possible that Nigel's going to capitalize on whatever popularity he's generated here. And it's clear that he's generated some, because you can't come third if everyone hates you. And it looks like the Conservatives are in the weakest possible position. Nigel must have just been absolutely thrilled coming out. How the polls looking? Oh, they're worse than before. Brilliant.
And he's already
Absolutely brilliant.
As we can see on screen, he's already got some experience here dealing with parliamentary politics.
Yeah, well, he does make that joke when he's in there, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he does, yeah. But also, he comes out with enough money in his Coots bank account to not dip behind the threshold. And so everything is kind of looking rosy for Farage. I think he's the real winner out of Celebrity, even though he didn't come first.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as the Epoch series, this episode on the Anglo-Zulu War. And if you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow Lotus Eaters on Twitter at lotuseaters_com on Twitter. Thank you and goodbye.